Hi, everybody. Give me a second to start everything, to set up everything. Big Chungus. We're playing Danganronpa Another. Yes, I'd like to play the video game, please. First, let me give a basic explanation of the class trial. The results of the class trial will be decided by your votes. If you choose the correct, but if you vote for the wrong person, then everyone and the Black Units would everyone will graduate from the school trip. Someone among us has noted Taria. We need to find the culprit and clear this class trial. If we put our heads together, we can do this just like we've always done. We already know who the culprit is. Mikado Sananji, you're the only possible suspect. Well, I've basically been called the killer every trial so far. This doesn't surprise me in the slightest, but does distract me. I thought we learned time and time again that we need to discuss things. Everyone except you and Shiobai were together, hence the only suspects were Shiobai and you. But according to you, Shiobai is not participating in this trial. If we follow that logic, Sora is a possible suspect too. Was she really with you the whole time? Sure, I wasn't there when you found the body, and I only arrived at the crime scene long after the body discovery happened. And every one of you were split apart until you saw that video and decided to go to the broadcasting room. They had split up, and while they were alone in the mysterious video, after experiencing such horror, you each guessed the room in the video to be the web broadcasting room and headed there. The only time you were together was after you gathered at the towers. I heard it directly from Sora. While I was unfortunate enough to not arrive at the scene at the time to learn all the case, I thought to myself, don't I have the right to know that what happened? I have concrete evidence as to why I'm suspecting Sora. I'm pretty good at this, right? Shut up. Let me preface this by saying I'm not doing this out of spite, Sora. By all means, I would have loved to take everything cautiously and step by step to find the culprit. When Yorko starts at the trap by suspecting me, I've got a rebuttal. Can you even fight against my rebuttal, I wonder? Foo foo foo. What is the point of this? I'm obviously not the culprit. If nobody has an alibi during the broadcast like you said, how does that make me specifically the prime suspect? I can't even read what he's saying. Hi, Kaizy, what's up? I can't even fucking read what this guy's saying. Yuki was to the north and Yorko was to the east, and yet... Oh, I think I get it. What the fuck?! Holy shit, jump scare! I did not think that would be that loud! You jump scared me. I don't think that's right. Oh, you don't? No, Yoriko saw Iroha. There we go. Oh, that's gonna suck. How many points did we fucking lose? Oh, that hurts! So let me get this straight, Mikado. Immediately after Yuki and Yoriko, I headed straight to the broadcasting room to fill that video. I'd give credit where credit's due. I did indeed have the time and resources. However, that also applies to you. Between the two of us, I say you're the one with the most suspicious alibi. You're trying to make it all matter. It sounds like our alibi don't matter, but at least 4 can prove that we were in locations we said we were in our alibis. However, not a single person even saw or knew where you were during the... From our perspective, Al, you have no concrete evidence. To use your own words, aren't you in the perfect condition? Iroha proved her alibi by meeting up with Yoriko. That much I'm sure of. Can you prove you were in some other place where the video is being broadcasted? More importantly, even the South, and yet you arrived way after the announcement was made. As we established, our alibis are not concrete. I might have easily committed this murder, as I was readily, but you are pretty suspicious as well. You'd be in the best position to murder than any of us. You're most absolutely right. Then let's not forget about this crucial information, everybody. I mean, didn't I say from the start, I wanted to find the culprit step by step, but I had no choice but to present my rebuttal when you accused me of nowhere out of order. Let's stop that train of thought for now. I'm not trying to cover for Mikado, but there are other discussions that need to be held right now. I do think Mikado's suspicious, but there's no need to rush things. We can point fingers after we discuss everything thoroughly, right? Wait, I basically said the same thing. Mikado, would you stop pretending you didn't even participate in the other discussions? Trying to be active in this trial. I have always tried my best in trial. It's just that every time I spoke, I was rudely ignored by everyone. Why don't we talk about the case more in depth? Let's hold the question of who the culprit is for now, and try to reimagine how the case went down step by step. I heard the basics of what happened. We all agree that Mikado's unbearable, but for this case only, above all, we only have 5 participants. With that low number, every word spoken from every person here should count. First and foremost, I think we can all agree that this case started with that broadcast. He's like a mix between Nagito, but I also want to give him the dream voice because he has the funny mask. In this video, the video mysterious someone approaching Kiryu with a knife. Let's talk about which started it all. Alright, what are these? Some strange substance oddities, such as living mortis cyanide poisoning. The video was broadcasted around 7 p.m. None of us have alibis during that time period. Oh, I was in the north area in case you were curious. After watching the video, everyone except Mikado headed straight to the top floor of the West Twin Tower, but all the doors were locked, so none of us were able to enter. We eventually broke the door down and entered the room. But after the sprinkler incident, Teruya was nowhere to be seen. And when we entered the East Broadcasting Room to search for him, Teruya was there being stabbed to death. Oh wait, no, wrong bullet. Shit. That's the wrong bullet. This sucks, dude. We're doing so badly. Hold on, Yuki. Teruya wasn't stabbed to death. The monocrophog didn't describe any other injuries, and I checked it out myself. Of course there's no injuries. That's because he died by poisoning. The tip of Teruya's fingers and toes are turned blue, and there are pinkish spots. These are counted as signs of cyanide poisoning. It wasn't me, it was Yoriko. I have my fair share of medical knowledge, and I agree with your observation. Cyanide is a chemical substance, to speak. It's a poison that prevents any living being from breathing properly. There are all signs of oxygen depletion. Wonderful work, Yoriko! When Teruya was poisoned to death, then how come that video showed someone holding a knife? There were knife wounds on his chest. Perhaps the culprit poisoned Teruya and then created a stab wound on the dead corpse. If Shiobite... There is a whole other riddle. Poisoning is quite inconspicuous, so if the killer announced their crime knowingly, why did you choose to poison someone to get rid of the killer's little talent show? Sounds contradictory. It's like they were saying, come and stop me if you can. Maybe it was the culprit's intention all along to gather us at the West Broadcasting Room. Recall that it was locked from the inside, but what if the killer wanted to emphasize specifically that to everyone by having a broadcast be sent to the whole island? Holding a knife leaves a much stronger impact than just holding some poison, right? Then what would be the point of creating a locked room mystery? When we broke the lock, we didn't see anyone inside, right? How could there be a locked room if there was no one there? The culprit laid out this incredible locked room mystery for us to solve. They said every good mystery fiction almost always features one. Even Emma said it back then, right? The broadcast wasn't the main show, it was just a small teaser to lure everyone to the crime scene. We need to solve this locked room mystery. I'm still super sus of Mikado. It's probably gonna be this. Was the culprit already not inside the broadcasting room? That seems to be the case. But there's barely any time for that. How'd they lock the room and escape during that sort of time period? Oh, I know! What we saw wasn't live footage! Fuck, I missed! Fuck! No, Raha, that video has to be live. During our investigation, we confirmed that the broadcasting room can only transmit live footage. If it had a database, it would be able to record and store videos, but unfortunately the room lacks any of that. So, when the video was being broadcasted, at that moment someone was in the West Broadcasting Room. Is there something you have to say? If there's something you want to say, then you should feel free to say it. This is the class trial, after all. Well, the thing is, when you first arrived on the top floor of the West Tower, there was no one there, right? Then couldn't you have locked and left the room and pretended you just arrived there? Try and say that again, Aroha. So you're basically trying to say that Sora's the culprit. The person in the video was Sora, is what you're trying to say, didn't you? Now that was a surprising remark considering it came from Aroha. I completely agree. You said you were all together after you gathered at the top floor of the West Building. That means it's possible to Sora to do the deed and create the locked room mystery, then meet up with everyone. It's Ritz time. I can't say the C word. It's gamer snacky time. Let's not forget Sora was also conveniently in the West area when it happened. I live there, bitch! Aw. You know the thing about what you did, the way you were during the murder. Do you think you have any right to suspect me? How are you gonna prove that? Yurika and Yuriko's allies can be proven with the keycard history. The robot was seen by Yurika, even if you say you were in the North area. What? What happened in between these two trials that make you believe Sora is a saint who never lied once in her life? I once again am not a suspect, but there's no real proof that Sora is innocent as well. Have you all forgotten once you rely on personal feelings, they will eventually cloud your judgment, preventing us from finding the real culprit. Anyone can be a culprit. I know how much you all hate me, but I would prefer if you didn't look at me with such jaundiced eyes. It's alright, the truth will eventually reveal itself. Isn't that right, Mikado? Of course. No, the sliding lock. It's impossible. But that wasn't possible with the broadcasting room because... It's not a button-based lock mechanism, but a lever-based one. One that is locked upon holding the door down with a lever. You can only lock the door after completing shutting the door. And why begin a contradiction? Forget the alpha, just solving how the culprit is mana subterfuge is the issue right now. What method did the culprit actually use to achieve this? We're probably going to be arguing that they didn't use the window because they couldn't fall. No, Aroha, I don't think that's the case. You definitely followed your doom this time. Yeah, I agree. I'm trying to start that thing with my fandom now, but I still want to have like silly, goofy moments, but I want to be more emotionally mature. Looks like the tower table was just an anomaly. And why did the culprit break the window? The reason, because they needed to, and the proof is... What? Perhaps it was because they needed some glass powder. The window is made out of glass, right? Perhaps the powder was the reason. There's something bugging me when we're all investigating. I'll help you out. Let's go! That's my bestie. That's my girlfriend. Thank you for helping me. Remember the thing I told you about in the broadcasting room? I didn't know what it was for back then, but maybe that's the key to solving this locked room mystery. Now that's... Now it's time to play the impossible minigame. I think it's probably going to be this. Because that's what they had the... I get it, Yuriko. It's a projector film. The powder that was on that film. The glass powder was used to create friction with the yellow phosphorus to create fire. Besides the city, there's literally... when they played the tape. But we have to focus on the projector film itself that was used to create the Locked Room mystery. It had to do with the sprinklers. The sprinklers were shaped like a ring, so you were able to... You could use a ladder, but... The proof that the film projector was used, the evidence found on the door should be the key. The tape? The lock on the broadcasting room's door has tape on it. I see, so that's how it is. Simply put, this is what happened. They pulled the film from the projector to make it go through the sprinklers on the ceiling and taped it to the door lock. Then they sprinkled yellow phosphorus on the film and positioned the scrap of paper in between the sprinklers and the film. Now what would happen if the projector was turned on at this point? And it was, with the lock's lever orientation, it becomes horizontal from vertical due to the film when pulling it. You would lock the door automatically by just turning the projector on and leaving the room with the door closed. Its state is preserved until someone opens the door. The film won't roll anymore due to the tape on the lock holding it steady. The film just had to resume rolling. Wait, it's fire! He uses fire magic. Mikado, that's the trick. They didn't use this complicated trick. Mikado just uses fire magic and then flew down. Because the rule that says that you can't, the rule that says Mikado can't use his magic for murders is gone. Is glitched. This is all Mikado's trap. And then he flew down out of the window, because he can fly now, even because he can use his magic for the murder. You'll naturally move through them when it retracts. Look over the sprinkler yellow phosphorus on the sprinklers and the paper. When we had broken into the broadcasting room, there was this weird video casted on Teruya's body. That wasn't just for show. The video on the film was being played right as we destroyed the tape holding it. Of course, there was also the purpose of misguiding our attention in that dark room. So the sprinklers have activated immediately because the flame had detected was right beneath it. That was why we were showered with water soon after we entered. Foo-foo, 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 foo-foo. Mikado, are you, amazing! I'd applaud your detective skills, and to think I worried you wouldn't make it without Shiobai. Oh, how you've all grown! Marveling because someone solved your riddle. I was genuinely astonished by your intellect. Now that we solved the locked room mystery, it's finally time to talk about the culprit. Why don't we have they lock the door and escape? Aren't there still other matters to solve first? Are there? He's right. The locked room mystery has been solved. We proved that it's possible to lock the door without anyone being inside the broadcasting room. But there's actually someone inside, Teruya. Teruya disappeared from the room when we re-entered and turned the sprinklers off. So how'd that happen? He flew back up, grabbed him, and then flew to the other tower. Like, you know how the sprinklers were stringing us to blind our sight with water, right? They used that to move Teruya while we weren't looking. Why else would they utilize the sprinklers in the plan? I think Teruya and Dude and Iroha, Mikado and Iroha worked together on this. Maybe it was inside storage, maybe there's a secret passageway. The bridge is the only thing that connects the two buildings, and even that was unstable due to bugs. You all presume a logical fallacy. From the proposition, someone else needs to be inside the broadcasting room. It ain't the locked room mystery if the culprit was inside the whole time. So how did Teruya disappear? Do you get what the problem's here? If you suppose your locked room mystery theory is true, then what you're saying is that Teruya disappeared out of thin air. Now this is a predicament. We'll never find out who the culprit is. It's hard to say anything whatever. Why would I say anything if this happens all the time? I knew we needed Ch5 after all. Ch5, we didn't particularly like him. Not just him. Koko and Kanade, we're standing here because of the help of those who are no longer with us. Are we really incapable of doing everything without him? Can't we survive a single trial? That isn't true. We can do this too. Think what they have done in a situation like this. Think what they could have come up with. If I were them... Yuki, did you say something about the storage room? What did you think made it suddenly appear? When we first arrived on the 5th island, there were no doors to the storage room or the broadcasting room. We only took notice of it. When we entered the broadcasting room, there was no door behind Teruya then, either. When that video was being broadcasted, there's definitely no door behind him. We only found the door after the sprinklers had stopped. Forget making Teruya disappeared. How do you suddenly make a door appear in a wall with nothing? Virtual world. I guess even that isn't going to cut it. Maybe there's some mechanism here? No, I think that'll cut it. You know, mangas, if you push a button, the wall reveals so you reveal hidden space. I can't help but get the feeling that something's off. The part of the locked room mystery that we already solved. Yorko, why sprinklers? Locked room mystery that we just solved. Why'd they cause a fire to activate the sprinklers? You can create a locked room using only the projecting film without ever needing to cause a fire from the yellow phosphorus. They caused the fire to activate the sprinklers, so the question then shifts to why they set up such a convoluted mess. I thought you say something about the water streams being strong enough to blind your light. Perhaps they tried to do something that time? Or perhaps they wanted us to leave the broadcasting room to do something without being seen. There wasn't any sign inside the broadcasting room to begin with, so the water blinding us didn't have anything secretive to be done. I think that activating the sprinklers itself was the point. I hate this minigame. So why did they activate the sprinklers is the question we're answering. I fucking hate Flappy Bird. Do not hit that red one. That red one is instant death. Ouch. Fuck you, dude. We were right there. Alright, gaming very extreme gaming. That kills? Fuck, dude. We're so fucked. We're so extremely fucked. Fuck, dude! No! I was right there! This minigame sucks, dude. And the worst part is that it would be fun if they didn't make it this fucking hard. What did they achieve by moving the sprinklers? I have to do that whole thing again. Shit, man. Oh my god, we made it. Okay. I thought the water pressure might be able to break one of the props. Alright, we made it past the first stage. Ouch. Oh, that's really annoying. Okay, we made it. We have to get the question right, though. What did the culprit try to wash by... the floor? Damn it, okay. Oh, we can just tank this. We just can't hit any of the red ones. Alright, round 3. Oh, this is super fucking annoying. That's gonna be so annoying. Like, what the hell am I supposed to do there? We have to get it this try. And then down. I feel like these were designed with the thought that you had Yuri's thing that lets you fly freely without a thought for players who didn't do Yuri's free time events, and that's how the difficulty was balanced. It's bad game feel, bad game designer. I just can't hit the reds. Alright, now we gotta beat this in 5 tries. Ouch. Like, what the fuck do they want me to do there? Oh my god. We've already lost. We already lose. I think this one is impossible without Yuri's. Okay. Off to a good start. Off to an okay start. Off to a bad start. We just can't get hit. We just really can't get hit at all. How am I supposed to avoid that block? This is gonna take me the whole stream. Alright, take 3 at this. Oh my god, we made it past the block of death. No! It was right there! No! I'm so pissed. We were right there. This one's already a lost cause. dude. Oh my god, we made it! Okay, we just have to get this question right. Why did the cobra try to wash the walls with water? Let's go! I don't care about the fucking score. I've got it. I know how Teruya disappeared. It wasn't after Teruya had gone through the door that the door disappeared. It was because Teruya disappeared that the door was visible. The door to the storage room was always there. The culprit simply had hidden a drawing on top of it. The Teruya is just a painting of the fainted Teruya drawn on the wall. Trick art. The culprit had drawn Teruya right on top of the door. It was made to seem like the door... I don't think so. I think it was Makaido with his magic. If the water from the sprinkler was washed away the drawing, the Teruya's drawing on the wall was revealing the drawing that was originally there. Do you have any proof that it was a drawing? Okay. What is the question? Body. I forgot the question. Ow. It's hard if I don't know the question. Body discovery. That was the fuck up. Do you have DI? I should pay better attention while reading because it doesn't show you the question on the screen. The body discovery announcement. Something was off. All 4 of us saw Chiru's body, yet no body discovery announcement was made because it was just a drawing. With 4 people discovering the body, the thing should have been made, but the announcement was only made after we found the body again in the East broadcasting room. The corpse we found in the East storage room was cold and rigid. Only a few minutes had passed when we first discovered him to the west of the East broadcasting room. Chiru was probably inside the East storage room all this time. The door to the storage room was hidden by paint covering the walls. The culprit's identity. All this questioning about how they did it, there's only one person capable of this. Mikado. I don't think it was Aroha. But why is this empty? You've been silent for quite a while, haven't you, Aroha? I think they work together. I think Mikado committed the murder, but Aroha worked as an accomplice. And because she has to follow Void's orders, that means she had to work as Mikado's accomplice. That's what I think. I think Aroha's Mikado's accomplice. And they work together. But Mikado is ultimately the murderer. Ugh, this trick could only have been done by you. Wait, can we really be sure on that? I just have a hard time believing. Even if it's a drawing is a drawing. I'm sure there have been clear discrepancies to the real one. We didn't have many chances. Before the case happened, it was white paint covering some wall, and after it, we only saw the painting of Chiruya twice. And the former shouldn't really count considering the subpar resolution. It was blurred and the room was dark. Definitely not enough to, since the sprinklers erased the drawing afterward. The one with skills to produce such paintings is you. If there's anything you'd like to object to, tell us now. I don't know what you're saying. I'm not the culprit. You might not know this, but trick art is no easy task. But aren't you the ultimate artist? I remember you bragging. You mean the ultimate artist can do something they can't do? I can't feel good having to be the bad cop here. But if you really is the culprit, we can't let feelings stop our judgment. I don't think she's the culprit. I think it was Mikado. I think he used magic. Because he can use magic in murders now. He can use the magic in the murders now because of the rules glitching. The Chiruya from the west is just a drawing. That much is obvious. The real Chiruya was already dead inside the east storage room. And you're the only person who can draw such convincing paintings, Aroha. But I'm not the culprit. And who else do you suppose could produce such paintings? No. Hold on, I've got one question to ask you. Sora said the sprinklers, but that caused the painting. He's providing us the wrong answers. I want to adjust this so that it points down, but it seems like that's not happening. Like, that works. There's no need to worry about the washed off paint. All they had to do was mop up the paint with a prop cloth they prepared. I imagine it got stained up for multiple times. The cloth was used to soak up paint trickled down from the wall. It's so stained that we didn't even know the paint was soaked on it before. Doesn't using that paint stain make the theory of the culprit make them using the painting more concrete? The storage room door was already sealed by paint when we first investigated the city. In other words, whoever did it was planning to kill Tariro right from the moment we got here. I'm not a bad guy, I'm not the culprit. Wait, that's it, that's gotta be it. Yeah, I thought away now, I can't be the culprit. Oh, I mean, it didn't mean I came up with it now. I mean, I have to tell you why I can't be the culprit, then here I go. I still don't think it was you. I do not think it was you. This is the only one we haven't used. I know it's the only one I could draw it, but I have an alibi. If I was the culprit, I would have already broadcasted that video too, right? Okay, so it's that. I don't think it was Aroha. No, look, Aroha. There's a connecting bridge. You can move between the two broadcasting rooms quickly using the bridge. You forgot how the bridge was. Didn't I spend precious time running around to tell you how dangerous it was to try to cross the bridge? I'm not sure about that. Was the bridge really not in use? Did anyone feel like there was something off about the bridge? When Mikado turned about it when we were investigating it, I felt there was some strangeness. I was confident of it once we figured out Aroha's art trick, but there's no real way to prove this. If you're concerned about the investigation of a crime scene, it can be real loud if there's a majority vote to do so. If you're concerned about the... Now hold on, Monocro, you're not supposed to... A re-examination, so the class will be given a chance to pause the class trial and re-examine the scene under majority rule. You need a majority to vote to proceed. I told you to wait, you useless bird. I never gave you the administrator right to... I see, the reset. Why is he acting so flustered about this? This is getting real fishy, Sora. Same here. Everyone, shouldn't we just focus on the trial? We now have a majority vote. The class trial will be paused and we will move to the corresponding room. What? We really left the trial grounds. I guess it is still the same building. All we had to do was go up in the elevator after all. Sora, watch out! No, I'm gonna be fine. See what I tell you, the bug is still present. Now how will we leave this dangerous place? Watch me, everyone. I'm gonna throw it onto the bridge. Losing your handbook is against the rules. You know, if my theory is correct, we won't have to worry about anything about this. I knew it. What? As you can see, you can cross this bridge. They use the same trick they used in the broadcasting room. They painted the wall, ceiling, floor, and ceiling of the bridge to completely mimic the outside scenery. Once you go on the bridge, the illusion of the drawing seems to... If you look at it from the bridge entrance, it looks like the bridge had disappeared, but from this angle, it doesn't look anything like real scenery. I didn't have a hint of doubt at first. Even I myself was fooled. When I first opened, I felt like the feeling, but I finally realized what that strangeness was. There's no wind blowing here. If there was no bridge and there was only open space, you would expect a breeze due to the altitude difference, but that was just a hunch, so I was about to further test it during the investigation, but then I ran out of time thanks to Mikado. I immediately thought of the possibility of this being the case. We all did have a lot of stuff going on ever since we arrived here, and then this proves the bridge was usable. Well then. Iroha, what do you have to say for yourself? I don't think they could have painted the whole bridge. So I guess it's confirmed then. There's one thing that's been bugging me. If Iroha's the culprit, and that means she even came up with a locked room mystery with the projector, but do you think that's impossible with her intellect? No, even that can be possible. There's an accomplice. I thought so too! Think of the connecting bridge. It was made invisible. The connecting bridge was not in use during a bug. With that, we have a conclusion. The person who fed us false information is the accomplice. No, I think it was swapped. I think Mikado committed the murder and Iroha was the accomplice. Because we never confirmed that Iroha actually committed the murder. We only confirmed that she did the paintings. Every time I got near the connecting bridge, Mikado had tried to stop me somehow. When I first tried to open the bridge, and when tried... See, he's always on lookout, that way no one would figure out the truth. If we did figure out this world's existence as a virtual world, we wouldn't have believed a story about the bridge being a bug. So he openly admitted this world being a virtual world. I don't know if he calculated this far, but Mikado is definitely an accomplice to this case. All I did was inform you about the world's rules. I myself knew nothing about this connecting bridge. There's also another evidence that proves you were teaming up with Iroha. It has something to do with the paintings. The storage room door was always covered in paint since the day we had arrived, but when did the culprit have time to paint the wall? When we arrived on this island, it was already midnight. They said the Twin Towers were off limits during midnight. I knew something was up when I first heard that rule. I kind of glossed over it because it was Monaco who announced it, but he said this rule was going to be enforced at the same level. Would it be better to state it in the rules directly? Mikado murdered him, and after they announced the farce rule of not permitting entrance to the twin buildings, they went straight to work. Calling us suddenly in the middle of the night to make us walk across the bridge. They were in on it together. The plan was likely executed by Iroha, but the planning itself was done by Mikado, which, with this, he broke into Iroha's defense of, I'm too stupid to think of all this. I don't think it was all done by Iroha. If there's any objection to the theory we propose... Well, why don't you trust me, everyone? Why don't teams up with someone like this? We've learned to defeat the Void together with the power of friendship, everyone. Iroha, do you know why we're not even surprised if you teamed up Mikado? It's because we now suspected you as the last Void member. I mean, like, there's no point in hiding anymore. You're Void, aren't you? No, I am not a Void. The Void's Sioba. He ran off, you see. Ever since Nikkei revealed himself as Void, your actions were suspicious, and by top elimination, it's obvious that you were the one who pushed Sora off the Tower of Babel. Now, wait just a minute. It's too early to decide that Ro was the culprit. What do I do, Mikado? You told me it wouldn't turn out this way. Shut your mouth. I don't know what you're talking about. Mikado, you told me I wouldn't die if I did that. You told me I'd live if I listened to everything you said. You're acting. I get it, so shut up. Can't you see I'm doing my best to do... So I can take that as a yes, that you're a Void and the culprit? No, that's not it. I'm not a culprit. I'm not a Void either. I just wanted to... I don't know anything about this. She's basically admitted her crime at this point. Let's send her off with a final nail in the coffin. I don't think it was Iroha. Bob Ross? Maybe I'm wrong, guys? Maybe it was Aroha and Chapter 6 will just be Mikado committing another murder? Well, last remaining void. Why? Stop doing that. Anyway, I'm a god gamer. I'm so good at video games. Aroha, you asked Mikado for help. That one act applies to the other things. 1, Aroha's a Void member. 2, Mikado's accomplice. And 3, you're the culprit who killed Teruya. Alright, so I'm a Void member. So what? That doesn't make me the culprit, does it? The culprit should have went straight to the Twin Towers to work on the thing the night we arrived. The work was already done by the morning when I investigated, so that means the culprit knew the rule was a false rule. The rule was a lie made up from Mikado, but it was announced to us by him, not Monaco. So there's no way to know that it was announced by Monaco. Nobody had any reason to doubt it unless that person was a Void member. If you're a Void, you know in advance that such a rule didn't exist. You'd never know that unless you were sided with the Mastermind, and someone who's a Void member. And it so happens that you admitted that you're a Void member. That is equivalent to admitting you're the culprit. No, it's not. Aroha was deep asleep at the bus station when we arrived. I couldn't sleep well, like you said. I didn't think much of it at the time, but now that I think about it, because she pulled an all-nighter drawing paintings, it's Mikado, he's the culprit. Turns out he's way better at painting than I am. Why would I ever kill Teruya? We were pretty close, we were rainbow buddies. We talked to each other a lot, and then... I think it's time you give up. It's over, I tried my best, but you blurted out everything with your own mouth. This plan was a failure, I needed to at least save myself. It was a mistake thinking... So you're fessing up? I wouldn't come up with the entire plan. Do you really think that this useless idiot could think of it? All she did was just carry out the duty deed. If we didn't figure out the culprit and failed the class trial, everyone except Aroha would die, and that included Mikado. Death has no meaning to me. Aroha was going to be the last survivor of this killing game, and it was going to be the last step in our grand plan. No, it wasn't. You want Yuki to live. My plans used to be revisions. Let's end this class trial quick and get it over with. Don't do this, Mikado. I'm different from Nikkei. I stayed loyal to the end. I'm gonna die at this rate. Please, help. The only reason you didn't betray me is because I threatened you with the school rules. If you just told everyone about what we did, we could have turned the tables to win this class trial. You got nobody to blame but your own incompetence. I did everything to survive. I can't go back to my normal life anymore. How could you do this to me? Sora, please save me. I'm sorry for hiding the fact I was a Void. You're dead. No. Looks like she stopped responding. Even if you beg us for us to help you, everything is over for you. Now then, Sora, would you summarize the case like you always do? As after such a letdown of a class trial, let's get rid of the girl whom nobody wants and finally commence the true ending of this killing school trip. Yeah, he wants the trial to end. We're gonna get it wrong. This is a Penguin Rampa situation. My hands are like shaking, and I don't know why. Yeah. Okay. Alright. After the fifth quest trial, we hurriedly moved to the fifth island. The culprit already planned to murder Taria with Mikado. This is because the culprit was a Void member. They made up the false rule of no entering the Twin Towers during nighttime and went straight to prepare their crime. They needed to cover up the door to the storage room with paint, and they needed to draw trick art on the connecting bridge to make it seem like it disappeared. Mikado tried to fool us, saying that it disappearing was a bug, and because of what happened in the Tower of Babel, not one of us had a hint of doubt. After the preparations were done, Julia was kidnapped and poisoned to death by the culprit. His corpse was kept inside the east storage room, but because we didn't even know the existence of the room, we weren't able to find a single existence of him. And on the fateful day, the culprit prepared a little premonition. They moved to the east broadcasting room to plant the stab wound. It was made in relation to the broadcast lyrics he made. They then erased the paint hiding the door to the storage room and moved to the west broadcasting room. There, they first carried out their plan to create a locked room mystery. It required locking the door automatically using a projector film. The culprit picked up a creepy film to be slotted into the projector and covered it with yellow phosphorus. He hung the film through the sprinklers and stuck it through the door with tape. With this, by turning the projector on, the culprit was able to lock the door and pull the lock. The culprit then started to draw Teruya on the wall to imitate his appearance lying dead in the east storage room. Because they had great talents in painting, they were able to draw a trick out of Teruya and mess with their depth perception. After it was done, the culprit used the computers to broadcast the footage to the whole city, and they filmed themselves holding a knife, when in actuality it was just a painting of Teruya, but there was no way to know that just from the footage. But that wasn't all there was to it. The culprit then broke one of the windows. This made us think that the culprit maybe broke the window to escape, but the chances of that were very low. The real reason the culprit broke the window was because they needed glass shards. They crushed the glass shards to get glass powder, and then sprinkled it on the piece of paper. The culprit tried the paper with the glass powder on it to the sprinklers, so that the paper faces the side of the film with the yellow phosphorus. When the door was forced open, the film would roll back in, causing a friction between the two materials, activating the sprinklers. All they had to do now was leave the projector and turn the projector on, and just like the culprit intended, the door was locked, as seen in the film, and stopped rolling. At this point, we'd seen the broadcast and headed to the west broadcast room. The culprit didn't have much time to spare. They used the bridge to cross over to the east building. They went down the elevator and met with Yoriko, creating the alibi. Originally, we thought that the culprit suddenly appearing in the east area was impossible. This was because we thought that the connecting bridge was out of use, but that was the culprit's plan. The culprit regrouped with everyone and helped break down the door to the broadcasting room. Once the door was destroyed, the film started rolling again, causing a fire underneath the sprinklers between the friction. So before we got the chance to address the situation, the sprinklers activated and we had to leave the room. Because of the strong water sprays from the sprinklers, the paint on the wall was washed off, so the body disappeared and in its place the storage room door. If we hadn't come up with a painting theory, we never would have realized this trick. Here, the paint should have trickled down to the floor, but they created a cloth near the wall. It soaked up all the paint, barely leaving a trace. The cloth was already pretty stained and dirty, so we never realized it would be soaked. As soon as we noticed Teruya disappeared, we searched frantically for him and found his body in the east storage room. The culprit had a true mastermind, but the culprit simply did what they were told to. Even so, they killed Teruya. The culprit, the last remaining void, the one that killed Teruya with their own hands. Rohanigwe, the ultimate painter. It was you. I don't want to die. I don't want to be killed. Now, shall we put an end to this? Are you really going to abandon Aroha, Mikado? And what difference does it make? It was destined to work out this way. They're all stepping stones just here to fill up the numbers. No one could hope that my desire to see him right again. Isn't that right, Yuki? Now then, Monaco, it's time for the announcement. Your announcement of the end of this class trial. C, not bad. I'll take it. Now it has been agreed upon. It's time to commence the voting system. All remaining participants, please vote for the culprit with the switch. Abstention is not permitted, so be sure to participate in the voting time. All votes have now been confirmed. I'll now disclose the results. I knew it. I fucking knew it. Mikado uses magic. What? Huh? Iroha Nijue is not the culprit of this case. The Blackened has cleared the trial. As such, the killing school trip will come to the end as written in the school rules. I don't. I thought it was the culprit. I'm sure it was the one that killed Teruya. What do you mean the culprit isn't Iroha? The Blackened of this case is the ultimate wizard, Makaido Sananji. Look at this room full of jokers. To be this easily fooled, how stupid can you be? You all... Don't tell me, you're just trying to make me laugh. You all are on it for the joke. I mean, seriously, you can't be this brain dead, right? Mikado, what's going on? I poisoned the food because you told me to. I did nothing wrong. Then how come you're the culprit of this case and not me? Of course you did nothing wrong. You did everything perfectly, my dear. Because of your efforts, my plan has finally bloomed into something wonderful. The poison I gave you was fake, just plain old salt. I'd already put the real cyanide in advance. All you did was sprinkle some salt on some already poisoned food. That's a lie. You're just using your result to fix... He's right. There was nothing wrong in our reasoning. This shouldn't count. This trial's invalid. No, I'm the real culprit that killed Teruya. It's your fault for not figuring out everything. If Shiobaya Kanata is here, but I guess with Aurora herself thinking she was the culprit. He uses magic. Why would I ever believe you? Here, I even have proof. Yes! The rule is crossed out. That doesn't matter in the slightest. I did not commit any foul action in this case. I can even ask Monocro to reinstate that rule. Your theory was indeed perfect, except for the fact you guessed the wrong person, so in the end, you lost fair and square. Isn't it time you realize that there's nothing more to it? Okay, if he didn't use any magic, then yeah, he won fair and square. Whether he cheated or not, the outcome has already been decided. We lost the class trial. My mind went blank. I tried to think of a plan. We were so close to finding the real truth. I felt as I was swimming on a deep abyss, but nothing came to the surface. The culprit should have been Iroha. Whether you believe it or not, the outcome has already been decided. As you've seen from this trial, I cannot control Monaco. He is completely neutral in all this. And for him to proclaim the outcome means you cannot run away for this. Now then, with the class trial finished, we will now begin the finale. As stated in the school rules, everyone except the Blackened who won the class trial will be executed. Really? Don't tell me you didn't expect that coming. We've executed so many people through these trials. The only difference was that the Blackened won this time. If I'm the Blackened, and I'm the accomplice. Have you learned literally anything in your life? It has been said countless times that the Blackened is nothing to do. You're going to die, Iroha. You said you'd let me live. Would you want your life to be something meaningful? Even if you were the Blackened, you would still be killed. If you've murdered someone with perfection, maybe you have a chance of winning this game. The execution of the spotless who will now survive the class trial. Mikado, you just can't kill Yuki. If he dies, the Master Utsuro can't be resurrected anymore. So, some of yourself returned to you, but this should be how it ends. This is the correct ending I've planned for the killing school trip. Now I've created a special monument for Sora, the ultimate lucky student, Yoriko Kaguya, and... Finally, my lifelong dream has come true. I've abandoned everything for this, and now I will be reborn. What? I will be reborn? Commence the execution. Oh, they're having us being grabbed. I love you, Yoriko. Goodbye, Yuki. I don't love you. What does that say? What? Oh. Fun. Can I see the others' punishments too? Drown in paint? You just get the fucking after school lesson. What? What? The blue screen of death? BSOD? Hello? Really? I'd say it's a lot later than I expected. Right, good to hear that. I keep things ready until I survive. Never mind, it's nothing. See you later. So this day has finally arrived. Kid Joe! Let's get ready then. To finish what happened back then. Let's go, Kid Joe! What? What? Where did we go? We just stopped existing? We no longer exist. What the fuck? Mrs. Kurokawa! Mrs. Kurokawa! I finally solved it! That bug I was talking about. The seventh method is returning the value void. Is that... Was Kuroko Makako this whole time? What's wrong, Mrs. Kurokawa? I told you not to refer to me as the name Makaido Senonji. Ah, you certainly did. I'm sorry. My last name is Mitsume. If that is confusing, just call me by my first name. But isn't Kurokawa right officially? You said that before your husband and daughter are missing, so you technically haven't got divorced yet. Wait, is this her mother? Have you come to talk such a thing as a trivial matters? The bug, I fixed it. You were right. Why does Makaido look like Shiobai? It's in the USB. Do you want to test it right now? It's not bad, expectedly. Why did the fucking... I know, right? Now we're finally at the starting line. Ah, Kokoro, I brought this month's pay here. I'm sorry I always have to pay in cash every time. Is there something troubling you? No, as always, this isn't clean money. I know the security has been the worst ever since the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history, but aren't you doing that this too often? You know, hacking. If you're concerned about money laundering, I've done it quite thoroughly every time. Crime is everywhere these days, and I'm actually quite used to it. It's just that you might get caught. Be on the lookout. You're one of my important sources of research money. There aren't many people who... I'm afraid I can't. I haven't got much time left. Master Utsuro. I need to meet him as soon as possible for my sake, even if it's just an alter ego created inside a program world. Makaido Senonji, the potion you're revealing now, is it aspiration or regret? No, it's awe. To be honest, I don't give a damn about the ultimate luck at all. If I could just meet him for a moment, I'd be willing to do whatever it takes. Amazing. A strong emotion. Could I record your data? Later. It's a bit disturbing, to be honest. The reason why you're creating that alter ego, your relationship with that person, has no relevance to me. To digitize emotion and analyze it, to digitally create human emotion itself, that objective of mine was finally made true by your request, and our objectives merely happen to overlap. That's all. That's expected of our Miss Kokoro. This is Kokoro. That's why we should start a deep learning process with our sample data. I'll take it from here. Lending the equipment necessary is enough reason to pay the money anyways. If that's what you want, then get to it. The sample data is on the desktop. This marks another step forward. Master Utsuro, please wait for me. I'll resurrect you, I promise. So Kokoro was fine with all this? Let's see, gosh Kokoro, is it this folder? What's with this folder? It's not any programming code. Ah, I haven't deleted... Oh, it's not like you've seen something you weren't supposed to. This is just something we're talking about. It's all in the past anyways. I'm always thankful for your support, so I guess you can tell us these much. Haven't you always... Oh, it's not... You and your mind reading again. This is the file containing my daughter's brain map and digitized electric signals from all the responses she got. It was my lifelong dream to study primitive emotions. Mikado, what do you think the most primitive emotion is? When we first become a living feature, the essence of emotion. Emotion is an unknown field, but what if we could digitalize the most primitive emotion? Maybe we could further inspect about the very identity of us humans. What does that have to do with your daughter? Our emotions get largely affected by our surroundings as we grow up. As such, it is to research emotion in its most primitive form. I must conduct the experiment from the very moment a human being is born. I had her specifically for that project. It was much convenient than getting another children. I had her born in the lab and started my experiment. He did, for the record. I didn't think the genes would have that much of an effect, although I did search for a sperm donor, but one of the research I knew had a crush on me for the longest time. Made it a lot easier. Well, this is the boring part. So that means your husband and daughter went missing. My husband couldn't stand it in the end, so he took off with my daughter. He definitely agreed to the experiment. I realized that motherhood, no fatherhood, is a lot stronger of an emotion than I thought. These files, they've been regularly updated. That's because she ran away with the scanning chip still in her brain. The chip is run by a semi-eternal battery, so as long as she was alive, the data should have been set to this PC. That's right, I just forgot. It's a lot of data to handle. As soon as you made contact with the outer world, that primitive emotion must have disappeared, so it's all worthless data. I didn't even know they existed before you opened them. Could you please delete them? I have no right to complain about ethics when my hands are this dirty from the crimes that I've done, but still, she's your family. You told me that you were an orphan, right? I guess this story sounded a bit irresponsible for someone like you. Sorry, I was being careless. Interesting. I checked some of the data just in case, but my daughter lived quite a life, did she? She seems to have gotten into Ch5 Academy. And there's a name I recognize occurring many times in my daughter's memory. Utsuro. Isn't that the person you were looking for? What's the matter all of a sudden? You surprised me. Coco, you're not joking of this. It was only a personal act of meeting with him that I contacted you. And yet, your daughter ran away and luckily got into Hope's Peak to somehow meet with him. When I can't even meet with him? I don't believe in such unscientific things, but this is new information to me as well. If you think about it, it's quite simple. This is the power of divine luck. It is his power. He is calling me. Him and I are once together pulled. Master Utsuro. Oh, Master Utsuro! Coco, the event I met with you was also made by Master Utsuro's will. This could prove to be even more important than the AI we're creating. If it's money, then I'll give you much more. Please. Give me a few more as a tip. I guess I'm skipping sleep tonight. Chapter 0, NA years ago. Hello? The world is falling apart. What was that, playing edgelord? No, I mean literally. Don't we all know? Everything's over now. If this is happening, this killing school field trip must have come to an end. Although there's no way for us to tell how it all ended. Though I think it's unusual for Mikado to put a sudden end to something. Did something go wrong with the plan? Whether Mikado's plan has succeeded or not, our time here is up. If Mr. Utsuro really came back to life, if we can get our fortune back, if even the smallest chance of life comes back to us... No, there's no such chance. Fortune is just that, mere luck. It's impossible to bring people back from the dead. And even if it were possible, Mikado Shinranji would never let it happen. No, I don't want to die. I want to live some more. I want to stay here with you guys. Emma, snap out of it. We're already dead. Us talking like this is only a fantasy. What? I just couldn't help it. Our lives throughout the past years have been a living hell. When we finally escape those gutters and live a normal life, we're dragged back down and have to accept it's the end. Why me? Why do we have to go through all this suffering? Crying out loud like that when change was already done. Besides, we all did something terrible. Hey, Nikkei, is there anything you want to say? Or are you keeping quiet because you don't have a mouth? Fuck it, I'm just waiting for all this to be over. I'm glad that this hell of a life is ending. There's no point living life without power. Yeah, just let me return to the dust. Are you sure about that, you? Well, what about you then? Your health. You wanted to regain your health. You came this far just for one goal. Why are you so concerned about other people? You, of all people, must be the most desperate. That might be true, but still, there's something that came to my mind. This is what I was fated to be. We were all granted the power of fortune by Mr. Utsu, and that power... We weren't dragged down to hell. We were there from the very beginning. Fortune might have allowed us a temporary escape, but this place was the way we were all supposed to be. So we can't change fate? I don't know. There might have been some way if Mr. Utsuro was still alive, but wouldn't it be better to think that we came back when we belong rather than we lost everything, at least in your last moments? Forget it. You're lame. I'd rather not spend my time. I'm going to lay down here in silent fall into sleep. I'm sorry. Emma, tell me one final joke. Anything's fine. Just pick one already. It's almost fine. It's almost time. Hoo, alright. What do you call a deer with extremely good eyesight? No! What do you call a deer with really good eyesight? I was happy to meet you, but at the same time, I was unhappy. And that's the real reason I cared for your meeting. Because you were... What should I say first, empty? Is monologue? Oh, we're back here. As you can see, empty. I'm just an empty. Only emptiness, empty. Did they just reset the whole killing game? Sora, get up! Sora, are you okay? Sora, it's me. This place. Thank God. I'm glad you're okay, Sora. When I found you on the floor, I thought you were dead. I thought I was dead. Huh? Who are you? This is the first time we've met, right? Is it? It's me, Yoriko. How is she slaying both like this and how she was before? Fucking slay. Slay. Yoriko, is that really you? You look like a completely different person. I look like I did back when I was in high school. My theory was correct. I don't know if my memory and my appearance is back, but this is how I look now. What, you still don't believe me? My memory's way back, but I still remember everything that might happen. I was just a little surprised. You look very mature, though. Well, that's because I'm on the... I don't know how you are, but I'm older, probably. Then should I call you Miss Kaguya, or are you already married? No, I'm only gonna marry you, dumbass. I'm just asking you to treat me how you usually do. By the way, do you know what situation happened? I want to know a situation. What? We're alive. What happened to the execution? Why are we on this beach and where are the others? I have a question. We're still in the virtual world, right? You think? Well, I don't think that zeros and ones are normally flying around in the real world, and the sky is purple in case you haven't noticed. How do you get kidnapped and forced into this killing game? I'll tell you. I was working as usual and then someone... Sorry, I don't remember the details. I was surprise attacked. Sora, look at this. This is the reset code. Did this bring my memories back? Oh, mine's like that too. They should come back. My real memories. You remember before, right? I should have, but I don't feel any different after this last trial. Well, the change in my appearance must have something to do with the reset code, but you haven't changed at all. The reset code is not absolute. The reset code just initializes the tampered state of data. Tampered state? What's that? Wait, what? Oh, Izzy, pleasure to see you all again. Wait a second, I'm no longer your enemy. You work for Hokkaido. Yuriko, wait a minute. Monocro, I wanted to talk to you. The day I arrived on the 5th island, with that cabin, you tried to tell us something. Yes? So why didn't you say anything? And after that, your condition was weird. Still as seasoned as ever, Miss Sora. I'll admit you were half right. Once my data was initialized, it doesn't make sense for me to be here anymore. So in theory, my personality seemed to be dead, but I have somehow come back to life. Now that I have a few moments of freedom, I came here to you. I'm here to help you guys. It seems both of your reset codes have been activated, right? Seeing how Yoriko's avatar has been released. But nonetheless, you lack information. To beat that monster Mikado, you need information, am I wrong? You've been on Mikado's all this time. Well, I'm not sure either. I think the default value of my algorithm is to help humans. All programs are act using algorithms, and the principle of those are determined by a default value. I haven't been trustworthy so far, so you have no choice whether to trust me or not. I won't force you. As Yoriko said, I've been working for Mikado, so why didn't you trust me? However, I am no longer under the jurisdiction of Mikado, so now I'm going to help you. Monica, what do you know about Mikado's plan and where the others are? Well, not all of them are here, but I could show you where they are. It's hard to understand the situation with just the two of us alone. Besides, we don't know where the others are. We could always have some eyes in the sky, and we have the perfect bird for that job. Please don't address me as just a bird. I'm suspicious of Monaco, but if you betray us, you will die. Don't worry, my algorithm isn't programmed to lie, so it is safe to assume that there is nothing on this beach. You should move. To the singularity. Please talk to me when you're ready. Chapter 6. Oh, that's the name of the game. Alright, I want to start the investigation, but I'm probably going to stop at like 4:30. What the fuck is going on? You ready? Right, we can still afford a little more time. Did we lose the class trial? I'm still not convinced. Was Mikado really the culprit? No, if you think about what Mikado said before, we knew the culprit because we had an easy way of judging, but in the last case we had no idea who placed the poison. It was a complete defeat. Our usual process of doing things was made useless. However, somehow we lived. Are you ready? Great then, let's move right away. Where's the singularity? Do we even need to go to it? Mikado's plan, and the reason, if you know, just saw us here. Oh, I thought you already knew about Mikado's plan. Nikkei said a few things everywhere. Besides, the reset codes were solved, so I think you have already come to your conclusion. Utsuro, he's trying to meet them. Well, his goal is to put Utsuro's personality over Yuki, thereby aiming for the resurrection of divine luck. Isn't that what you concluded in Higa City? Then why did he kill Yuki? Only me, Sora, and Yuki were there. Because I'm the overseer of this world. Currently, this virtual world is erroneous due to external intervention. You can tell what happened from the strange environment that surrounds you. When that happens, our security was destroyed, and without my average prejudice, I learned little information of what happened in that. I've judged that seeing it for yourself. It's only a waste of time talking here. I know for a fact that it's not me or Mikado causing this intervention. It would be impossible to move such a place for us. The coordinates of the map are all lined up, so it should be up ahead. That's wise judgment. Now follow me. Due to the unnatural linking of these locations, you might feel somewhat dizzy upon movement. We've arrived. This is the first singularity. This world is full of errors. It seems objects were misplaced. Is this maybe the first island? This is the bell tower where the first murder took place. In the virtual world, murders are of great significance. From this error, I should be able to do various manipulations here. Huh? Yuri, this person is Yuri Kagura, right? You're all aware that the one that died in this tower was Yuri, right? Why is Yuri? More importantly, what is this machine? This machine is a device that connects the virtual and the real worlds. In other words, this is the connector to the virtual world program where we currently reside. In the real world, just like Yuki, you two in a capsule, asleep, just like him. So Yuri returned to his real body. Yuri fell from the tower. Is Yuri alive? No, Yuri is very much dead. The virtual world connects to the brain, so death in there is a death in the real world. There are no exceptions. Oh. After we saw the real nature of Nikkei, it's just as we thought. He was lying, but hearing Monaco say it like that, they're all gone. So why is Yuri here, and why is this capsule here with him? This place is entirely virtual. Your body is exactly the same. It's like a game avatar, and with the administrator rate, you could change the look of an avatar. Someone manipulated the body of the dead Yuri. It wasn't a person who intervened, it was due to the reset codes. When a reset code is activated, your avatar returns to the state of your original body. If you don't believe me, let me show you. Originally, such a power is impossible, but in this state, it is possible to manipulate it. Oh, we're just talking nonsense. About Yuri's reality. Somebody called the connection device in reality. The connection device. Is there something like that inside the capsule machine? As far as I was aware, this device will show information. Here we are. This is his profile. That's all we know about Yuri Kagrin. Name, Yuri Kagrin, Japanese and Russian. From a young age, he hated men very much, was able to see and became an outstanding businessman and developed using independently developed AI called Yuri for space explorations. He and he became one of the symbols of next generation hope. Influenced by a girl from his past, he was determined to devote himself to helping women's welfare. Not only was Yuri's body big, Miss Orr, do you not remember? I'm aware you recovered your memories as a Kanetaria. Yuri Kagura made a Kanetaria as a child. Yuri, who originally rejected men and met women, the reason he became so infected with women because he hired a Kanetaria. I'm not too sure, I can't remember for certain. I don't remember everyone I met whilst I was a maid. Whether or not she remembers Yuri, Yuri had some knowledge of a Kanetaria.
Oh yeah.
Why does that matter? Because that was the reason they called in all of you, Utsuro, the very purpose of Mikado. He brought you here because you were all related to his classmates during Utsuro's time at Hope's Peak Academy. Because we were all somewhat related to Utsuro's classmates. Minako Tomori, does that name sound familiar to you? His only daughter, Kizuna Tomori, she was one of Utsuro's classmates. Minako was the madam at the bar I used to work, even though she looked after me. To think she was a married woman. This is about Minako's daughter who went to Hope's Peak. Most importantly, the Hope's Peak Academy 79th class. You were more or less related to the 79th class students. In case of Misora, Akane Tario was part of the 79th class herself, so that was self-explanatory. Okay, to be honest, I think I might have gotten spoiled like many years ago about the ending for Chapter 5. Wait a minute, Madam's daughter and Sora were classmates. Minako's age at that time, and her daughter was in high school. That means... Grandma Kaguya? What? I wasn't trying to calculate your age. Age doesn't matter, so please stop calling me that. What? No, we love MILFs. We're still dating, I don't care. I didn't read what they said. How old was he? All of you, except for the members of Void, are related to the 79th. Technically, Void sought help from the 79th class member Utsura. Since they're technically related, all of you are technically related. Teruya was also a classmate of Utsuro. In Mikado's plan, everyone was supposed to have, but there are some people who were in the 79th class itself. That includes Akane Taria. And that's the reason, because we had a connection to the 79th class. So why did he collect everyone? In order for Yuki to become Ucho, he needed to create a similar environment to the previous game. He called it reproduction. reproduction of the case. It's the order of the killing game so far. The Voids previously mentioned it. Miss Akane, part of the 79th class. Miss Taria, part of the 79th class. If you really are her, she would remember. Remember how this killing game is similar. The 79th class went through the killing game as well. About Uchiro, you must have heard about him from Sora on the last island. Yuki is biologically identical to Uchiro, but mentally they are different people. Okay. So Monaka wanted to replace Yuki's personality with Uchiro. As such, he chose a virtual world so he could connect directly to the brain. In conclusion, Uchiro was in the 79th class, and the two killing games are very similar. In the virtual world, Yuki suffered the same turning. This is Makaido's plan. The trials that Nikke talked about is the reenactment process. My memory is when I opened, but now, I remember everything clearly. During that time, he and I did something terrible. It's a terrible time I don't ever want to repeat again, and Makaido did it all over again. To Yuki, who did nothing wrong, was dragged into this for a selfish purpose. And not just Yuki, everyone was dragged into this due to the 79th class. After the war and the tragedy, human scientific advancement was rapid and technology improved day by day. With the technology of the Toa group, I know artificial intelligence and other things of the sort. But no matter how I think about it, covering a personality with someone else's, no matter how similar the environments and the conditions are it really possible? Is it really possible? It's basically brainwashing. If it's possible or not, this theory has already been proven by someone before. Junko Enoshima, have you ever heard of her? It always comes back to fucking Enoshima. Junko Enoshima, she's the cause of the... Oh right, this game takes place. She corrupted Utsura, and as a result, most of the class of 79 died. She's the root of this world's chaos. Well, she died a long time ago, after popping up a few too many times. Ha ha ha, do you get the joke? So you don't need to worry too much about her. In the past, Junko Enoshima modified a virtual world called the Near World Program. It was used to overwrite someone's personality with their own, aka the plan to turn everyone into herself. Her plan failed, and Junko Enoshima is completely dead. So V3 hasn't happened. V3 doesn't exist. The Mikado used that plan for motivation for his own. Did he actually implement the plan? And what is the symbol? This is the connection device of the New World Program. It's a stolen version that was plugged in with a thermal plate. And I'm only supposed to direct the minigate as the Mono mascot, taking the place of Monokuma. Even Mikado didn't give me the few details. So we were forced into the killing game because the 79 class was already dead. So we were used as alternatives or substitutes. Everyone was in the same situation. No, that can't be it. There's gotta be something more. Yoriko and everyone were kidnapped by Mikado. There's some other criteria that they had to reach. And they were, you have to be a Hope's Peak Academy student. This is the essential and irreplaceable condition. In addition to that, in the 79th killing game, there have been several others. There's even a killing game that took place with Hope's Peak Academy officials. I'm not sure why, but Uchiro's personality was covered up, but the ultimate talent was absolutely necessary. I've never been to Hope's Peak Academy. You weren't a student, or Yuri at Hope's Peak Academy. And here's the problem. When you started the killing school trip, why did your memory go back to when you were at high school? You should know, because Hope's Peak Academy was closed several years ago. So the ultimate students that were considered symbols of hope in this world could no longer be found. That's when Mikado decided to kidnap all the people. Read Yuri's profile directly again. He became one of the symbols. The symbol of hope. After the tragedy, major restoration, there were people who started great contribution to this restoration work. Those people were the next generation of hope, just the same as the ultimate students were. They were called the symbols of hope. Mikado focused on that and the talent itself, and put everyone's age back to when they were in high school. You are virtual ultimate students. Does that include me? I don't have any achievements that could earn me that talent. You certainly deserve this title. You were a counselor, correct? I did do some volunteering with the speaking skills, and I became a psychologist. Of course, I gained a little recognition, but not to the extent of being called that. It's through the counseling Yoriko did that she began to step out. She helped a lot of people who were mentally affected by the disaster for the small cost of nothing. Many people suffered from PTSD, and through Yoriko's hard work, she came through trouble, and that got her the title for being the situation. Shouldn't I have been the ultimate counselor instead? Why was I chosen as the ultimate hostess? Your talent and memory were inextricably linked. If you were selected as the ultimate psychologist, your memories wouldn't sync well, since you weren't a psychologist at the time. Yuri was no different. He was famous in the space industry. At some point, everyone began to call me that. A considerable amount of time has passed since Hope's Peak shut down, and yet people are desperate for hope. That is how mankind created... Just how mankind... They needed something to believe in. Humans are always hungry with hope and afraid of despair. That's why they create the symbols of hope. Monaco, are you human? When the Kelly school trip first started, I thought there might be someone who controlled you from behind the scenes, but as the story of the virtual world came out, you seem to be more than someone just being controlled when it's all about your memories controlling. If Monaco was created on Mikado specifically for this plan, it would be right to call you an AI, right? A swing and a miss. You were only half right this time. Of course I'm an AI, but I was not made by Mikado. My real name is Yuri. Mikado hacked me into another program. The name of the AI. That. I guess you could call the real Yuri my father. My purpose is to help humans. My purpose was to manage various flights. I must have been developed for that. Even though most of my data has been modified, I still have no memory of being the AI Yuri. Mikado is extremely focused on efficiency. For him, Mr. Kagram's AI had all the conditions of the plan. So he kidnapped Yuri and stole his artificial intelligence. In addition, an AI created by the next generation of Hope would be fitting for his plan. This isn't a very good story. Well, I don't know all of Mikado's actions. All the memories of me being the AI Yuri have been erased. I just went through the killing me in this program, but now that I know my identity, I can clearly remember what took place, which is why I'm helping you both. The scary thing is how someone executed these large-scale signs, but this was all done by Mikado Sananji, who didn't know much about Mikado himself. Monaco, if you look at it, you too are a victim from Mikado. You must have been programmed. Well, that's not exactly the case. This body is simply a programmed algorithm. I'm just an AI. I laugh, act gloomy, illusion, but that's because I was programmed this way. Artificial intelligence is not human. As an AI, I have no feelings of guilt. The only person who committed a crime is Mikado. However, distinguishing the good and the bad, there is no cause for that. I'm helping you now because I realized my original role. An artificial person acts on its own emotion and ignores algorithms. That would be called an alter ego. You don't need to sympathize with me. You only have to use me because all I am is a tool to help humans. Now then, let us move to the second singularity. You may feel dizzy between moves, so please try to prepare yourself. Can I save? No? Okay. And that is going to be where we end the stream. I want to finish this game before we start Eternights. I know Eternights is coming out tomorrow, but I want to finish this game first. So I'm going to stream this tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going to stream this tomorrow. Or I might not. It depends on how I'm feeling. I would do the switching back and forth things, but I'm not going to be streaming Wednesday, and I'm not streaming Saturdays and Sundays, so I'm probably going to start Eternights.
whenever I finish this game. So probably next week, I'm hoping. I'm hoping we'll get the game done by Friday. But yeah, I'm gonna finish this game first. Alright, thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.